Good afternoon, Thomas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, John. How are you?
Fine. Okay.
Good.
Could you tell me more about what you do?
Well, we manufacture accessories, leather goods. We do that all over the world. Primarily, we have our own factory in the United States, but we also work in Asia, in different parts of Asia. We have for many years, more than 20 years, been developing accessory products and having brand partners or partner factories in different areas. And recently, we have just started with a partner in Jakarta.
What do you manufacture?
We manufacture belts and leather belts, leather bags, fabric bags, accessory products, what we call fashion accessories.
I see. And I understand that some of the product is made in the US, Indonesia, China,
Yes.
India, and Mexico, right?
Correct. Yes.
And how would you decide which one to choose?
Well, it's a very good question, John. The market is changing very much, both with the reality of the raw material prices are going up, partially due to the cost of oil, but also due to the cost of leather itself is going up. So the components of our prices are changing. In China, where we have been doing a lot of business for many, many years, of course the labor rate is going up a lot, and the number of factories that are available over there are declining because of the labor situation as well, particularly in southern China. So we have begun to look elsewhere, and one of the areas we have come to is Indonesia, and we have been quite surprised that the very good relationship that we've established in a very short period of time, in less than 1 year really, with particularly one partner factory that we think can do the work for us.
Okay. So yeah, most of your what you do is you actually order from the local factories. Am I correct? Or you own actually factories?
No, we would work with a factory as basically, yes, we would order it from the factory, but we do not make changes very much. So what we try to do is associate with factories that will focus on their sales through us and our production through them. So in fact, it is a partnership as we look at it.
I see. Do you actually design the product itself and then give the design to the manufacturer?
It's really a combination of things, John. The market is changing very rapidly, so we work on both branded programs where the design might be given to us actually, and then we reproduce that, or we would actually rely upon some of the existing designs that might be in the factory, and then we might make some small changes to them. So it's both ways. It goes, but being in the fashion business, it's very fast. So you have to move very quickly.
Mm-hmm. And what's the benefit Indonesia as compared to maybe India or Mexico or perhaps Vietnam?
Okay. Well, Vietnam I cannot speak because we have not really developed a relationship there. The difference seems to be a greater willingness to entertain smaller quantities for minimum orders. There seems to be a...
may I interrupt? When you say smaller quantity, what quantity are we talking about?
Well, we can go down to as few as 50 pieces, perhaps even less. But there become realities of whether it's worth it to make such small quantities. But varying, again, in the fashion accessories business, there's a lot of change going on with styles. So one needs to be able to produce a lot of different types of styles. So rather than saying 10,000 pieces of one style, one color, one idea, to get down into very small quantities and ordering many colors, many styles, At the same time, it's very helpful to have more flexibility.
I see. Are we talking about big manufacturer, or this is, or this is our small manufacturer that you deal with in Indonesia?
Mostly small.
Small, okay. Because 50, I think the big manufacturer probably will not touch that, right?
That's, of course, that's generally true. But in our business, there aren't that many really big ones anyway around the world. It's mostly smaller factories, smaller subcontractors that are big.
So how did you get Indonesia? Indonesia, is not as well known, perhaps like China, but how do you get into Indonesia?
In this particular case, we met in Hong Kong at one of the trade fairs, and then we started having some discussions from there.
Do you deal with several manufacturers or just one in Indonesia at this
Just
moment?
one at this point.
One is okay. So if there is an Indonesian manufacturer that want to sell Indonesian product to you, what's the most important thing that you look for?
I look for a real openness in communication, a very, very high trust level, and a commitment to develop product over a long period of time. You see, it's very rare that we would actually be able to make a decision on any one product in even 1 or 2 months. It takes 6 months, 12 months for us of development of new products to establish the styles and get them actually produced and delivered. So I think many times factories get frustrated. They say, well, why not? Why don't I have an order right away? It takes time,
So let's say you develop a product that you ordered to the manufacturer. Let's say it started with 50, okay, and then suddenly you see a big demand. What do you do?
What do I do? Well, dialogue, conversation. Again, you would only do that with people you trust.
Okay.
I would have qualified with the factory that they can handle the work, and then move forward.
I see.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, of course.
And we do find that there are many opportunities in the marketplace.
Okay. Is price important to you?
Of course.
Is it number one important? Or?
No, not us.
Okay.
We have better quality than that.
Okay, so you look for quality.
Yes. And in Indonesia, particularly leather quality is very, very important, because honestly, the Indonesian leather is not the best in the world, but that's true throughout Asia. It's not the best, partially because the cattle that are the best cattle that produce the best skins are not based in Asia. They're based in the Americas, either North or South America, typically, and some very good cattle is also in Europe. But so the question is how you process the leather that is available, the cowhides and things that are available, and it takes some good skill to find sources of supply of leather that is of good enough quality for our standard. So that takes some time.
I see. Any advice? Any other advices you may give for?
I think the main thing is that always trying to produce the highest quality that one can at a reasonable price is the best. I do think that Indonesia will never be the lowest price, and partially is the realization that that is a very changeable thing. You may be the lowest price today, but in the not too distant future you will not be. So it's always better to focus on the quality, better quality, and hopefully better design. That's the kinds of things that attract people like me and my company, and then the very good, honest, trustworthy dealings back and forth, and to develop a long-term relationship.
How about timing, as far as order and shipment?
Timing is of course important. I don't think that Indonesia can offer something necessarily any better than what is available in China or available in India. But again, the most important thing is knowing that what you order, almost regardless of how long it takes, but what you order is what you receive.
I see. Okay.
And to be able to rely upon that.
I see.
If so often there is the perception in the West that doing business in Asia, you don't get what you plan. You don't receive what you order, and the frustration is that there isn't a good trust. You can't trust the Asian, honestly. My experience is that's not true. That the issue is more the responsibility of the customer to know that the factory is capable and has made a commitment. So I think it goes both ways. But it's always unique to find both a good partner that will support the product development necessary and make the commitment to the manufacturing necessary to meet the demands and the needs of the customer.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Tom.
Okay, John.
Yeah,
Take care.